Hello, Aries. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So tonight, Aries, we have the Chariot. Woo, in all of its Cancer glory, right? Yeah, which is one that is kind of what? Obsessive, really, like, you have the blinders on. What does that mean, right? Maybe you don't know what the blinders are. They put them on horses when they're racing, so they can't see anything in their peripheral vision, okay? So you're focused on one thing. That's all you can see. And it's accompanied with a lot of motivation, right? This like ironclad willpower to continue on, to work however hard you need to get creative, innovative, to bend over backwards if you have to. Because whatever it is that you have going on, it is super important to you, okay? And you will not abandon it. I know that. So let's go ahead. We're going to turn this thing. And, okay, and let's go ahead. And I'm actually just going to, I forget to turn off my watch face. I'm like always worried that it will say where I live exactly. I don't know why it doesn't have the actual location, but I'm like, okay, let's just hide this here. Okay, let's see. So I want to say thank you for deciding to click on this reading. It's always such an honor to be able to do these readings for you. If you're new to the channel, welcome. It is so wonderful to meet you. And if you are returning, welcome back. It's so lovely to see you. All right, let's go. So we have the number 4 right there. That's one of the first things I saw. I'm just going to kind of see. It's like 4 here. And then it's also a 4. I like those old school. I don't know if they're like from shorthand or I don't know. Maybe it's a medical number. But it's that 4 with the triangle on top. I'm going to start writing like that again. I have handwriting that probably looks like a unhinged person. I vary from capital to lowercase, capital to lowercase, uppercase to lowercase, and different styles of writing. Absolutely. Okay, so it looks like we have, you can see the eyes here. We have the little mouth. It's like a little smile. Here's the nose. And here's the body, right? It reminds me of some kind of like Jim Henson kind of puppet, Muppet type of character. Maybe something from like, what was that one called? Labyrinth with David Bowie and what's her name? I really like her. Was she the one in Drop Dead Fred, I think. Anyways, great actress, really cute. Also has bangs, or she used to, back in the day, she had bangs. So shout out to my fellow ladies with the bangs. All right, let's see. So we have this kind of real happy, snuggly looking character here. Here, it looks like we have a rose that is opened. And it actually looks like a white rose. So we have kind of it makes me believe that some kind of mystery about a health issue, maybe. Maybe you've been having symptoms. Maybe there's been, some kind of degree of malaise, which is just generally not feeling good. And I think that you have gone after it because you're, of course, like everybody feels whatever, worn out, not the best once in a while. But when it starts to be every single day and you're having symptoms you've never had before, then it becomes kind of a mystery. Like, what is going on with me? I know I don't feel good. I better go to the doctor if you have the privilege and access to healthcare and figure out what's going on. And so this is an open rose. It tells me that there has been some news, like you got test results, you know, the doctor gave you a call, or, you know, maybe you got you got some kind of understanding right at your doctor's appointment, but this kind of feels like you maybe have been waiting, right? And you've received it now. And it seems like it's not all good news. There's obviously, like, whenever we have something, right, going on, you jump to certain things, the big ones. And I'm not going to name them, but, you know, we all have these things where we're, like, worried about certain things that a lot of people suffer from, or, you know, the mortality rates are high, or whatever. There's the chronic illness factor and so on. But then you get news, okay, everything's cool, but also, you know, for me, usually it's like, oh, all your tests are cool, within range, but you also need to lose some weight. And I'm always like, well, yes. You know? And so I feel like it's a situation where I don't feel like it's something major. I feel like there's a big amount of relief, but I also feel like there's kind of a reminder, you know, to get back on track. This is like that moment where you're like, okay, I got to get more serious about whatever it is, right? And it's different for each of us. How we approach our well-being and how we feel, and you know, the upkeep of our body, and so on and so forth, is a personal journey, right? And so I'm not here to give you advice about that, of course not. But, you know, I think that we all have these times in our life where something happens and you start to think, I need to do, you know, I need to do something. For me, yeah, I've talked about this. I've been, I got into intentional movement, aka exercise, quite deeply this last year. And also just trying to shed some weight, right? And I've lost about a little over a third of my body weight right now. And, you know, I'm not pro weight loss, or you're not like a more beautiful person if you're skinny or anything like that. But I just couldn't keep up. I didn't feel good. I moved the whole house, basically. You know, my husband was working a lot, and I packed and I got everything set up, and I moved the house and so on. And I just realized I need to do something, because I was wrecked for like weeks after. So, you know, that was my moment, you know. And also I want to be able to play with my daughter. That's the big thing too. I want to be able to keep up with her a little bit, right? And so we have these moments, and I feel like for you, this is the thing, right? Maybe you started to catastrophize. I wasn't feeling good. I, you know, keep getting sick, or I'm tired all the time, or, you know, whatever it is. And we start to catastrophize. It's the worst case scenario, right? And it scares the heck out of us. Then we get good news. Everything's cool. But there's always, you know, something that we can at least start to improve on, right? Something to adjust in our life. And that's what life's about, right? It's always about adjusting the configuration of things, finding that place where you're in your groove. And so that's what it feels like to me, is that for you this year, or this cycle, is about finding a place where you feel pretty okay. Now, I'm not going to say the best ever, but just okay. For a lot of us, that's a huge win, right? Finding some ease in the stress, feeling better physically, and of course, emotionally, right? These things are so tied into one another. And so I feel like this is going to be your year of, kind of, and I'm not even going to say it's about like healing your body, just finding the right adjustments, the configuration that serves your needs. Okay? And this could be like anything, like adding more water to your intake, or, getting into a better sleep routine, or, starting to take walks after you eat a meal, or, it doesn't have to be super lofty. Sometimes it's just little adjustments. And so I feel like, and with the smile, I feel you feeling better. That's what it is I feel this sense of like, okay, I'm starting to feel like things are, rising. Like the world seems a little bit brighter, and yeah, I like that. I like seeing that. So now we also have a person standing here. Their arm is raised. They're holding a bird on their shoulder. And it looks like wearing a skirt or a dress, possibly. Now, we also have, this looks like it says fire, F-I-R-E, fire. So maybe a fire element person or a situation heavily influenced by the fire element. Okay, we have a hawk. And it has a scary looking person's face. Look at that thing. Sometimes I see images in here and I like don't even mention them because they're like, I'm like, it scares me. But that one, for some reason, it's the eyes, I think, which you can see. It looks like almost like a hawk or a vulture, the way it's kind of hunched over. And then here is the head, like kind of a side sweep hair, the big dark eyes, and maybe a little goatee or something. Now we have people who are in school. You can see right here at a desk. We have a person here who looks like they're holding some kind of maybe magical instrument or a religious artifact. This one it reminds me very much of that book, the Scary Stories to Tell at the Night, the drawings. It looks like a head and the eye and the mouth. It's kind of like a side profile, and then kind of like this very bony body right into here and a tail. Okay, so I'm gonna guess this is like some kind of rodent, maybe a possum or something like that. But it is, it looks like it's almost like a zombie. Like, I mean, that's what it looks like. It's maybe bones, right? So to me, and we have a person with a dog on a leash. Look at that. Here's the dog with its ears up, and it's on a leash right here. Here's a person holding it, and here's a person that it almost like the dog's running at them. So I feel like we have a fire element person. They are somebody that makes you uncomfortable because they seem predatory. Like there's somebody who's always watching. You feel like you never have privacy. They're always kind of seeing what you're doing. I feel like there is this real urge to kind of bind them out of your life, to kind of, like cleanse your whole being. So maybe they will disappear out of your life. But I do feel like there is, I feel like there's good reason to, yes, like make sure that you're taking proper precautions with this person. Kind of almost like, I don't know, just like maybe a sibling or like a friend or somebody that knows you well, but like, and you feel almost like compelled to have to love them or care about them, but they've constantly throughout your life, like shown through their behavior that they're not trustworthy. They don't respect other people. And not only that, they're probably like all, you know, kind of a thief, or I don't know, somebody that really just doesn't have a lot of honor. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Also just kind of creepy vibes in general. Okay. I feel like you pray for them often. I feel that deeply. I feel like you are constantly wishing, like, I wish that you were different. I wish your life was easier. I wish it was easier for us to include you in the family. I also wonder if there's some degree of almost like putting on like a vulnerability, like they're like like almost kind of conning the people that like take care of them. This feels almost kind of like a person that maybe never like moved out, or they live with your parents, or you know what I mean? And like it's apparent that they could, you know, have a job and get their stuff together and move out. They're not incapable of that. But for their whole life, they've always kind of just leaned on other people taking care of them. And I think that's what the deal is here. And you're not falling for kind of the act that they put on, that they are unable to really, you know, do anything for themselves. And I think this is where maybe there's a lot of frustration for you. I also wonder if, you know, if this is like a sibling, if it has been hard for you and your other siblings, or maybe you're just the other sibling, because like your family is always focused on like what their problems are. And so you had to kind of just figure it out because nobody really had time for your problems. And not only that, it feels like maybe you even actively kind of hid what was going on in your life when you needed help, because you didn't want to cause more stress on anybody. And I feel like this is something that, you know, maybe there's some degree of resentment. And I guess as you get older, right, and your parents get older, if your parents are still around, you start to worry about, are they going to be able to take care of your sibling or this person, right? Or, you know, who is going to take care of them when the parents can't, you know? And then you start to do the math, and it's like, wow, you know, it might be me. So I feel like in the possum here is all about this kind of, it almost feels like, well, the possum plays unalive, right? They pretend as a defense mechanism that, you know, they're deceased or whatever. And I almost kind of feel like for you, it's like this person in your life has done this for so long, like they've pretended for so long that it's like you've almost run out of empathy because you can see through it. And they're so manipulative. And so I feel like there's no excuses that would even begin to, you know, like sink in for you. You're just not with it. So I see that kind of being something that is not always in the front of your mind, but I do think it's something that you are thinking about. You're starting to realize you need to maybe kind of sit down and have a conversation with that, like a family meeting, or, you know, just to kind of start to get a picture of how things are going to play out. Okay. Now, we also have, it looks like The number 63, we have the letter H. Maybe a name, an H name. We have a person kind of clicking their heels. You can see the head up here, arms kind of up and folded, bent, and the legs right here. Now we have another person watching them. And we have the word S, E, and this one, the X, right? So I feel like, yes, it feels like there is a real draw to the sensual side, okay? I feel like you are kind of starting to feel yourself and, you know, feeling real cute and kind of maybe having moments where you're having little flirtations and maybe even a dalliance here or there. And, you know, and within the relationship, if you are in one, I feel like there is a rising attraction, right? And a want and a lust and that kind of thing. So I think you're going to be going through a cycle here where you are very in touch with this aspect of self. Okay, and it's something that I feel like you will prioritize a bit in these next season, or in the next season. Yes. All right, let's see. And we have the school, so the learning. So we have a person reading over here. Sitting and reading reminds me very much of always playing with my hair. Usually I don't wear it down during my readings, and so I don't mess with it, but here we are. Okay, so we have somebody going one way and then making a change in course. We have the tulips. Something about tulips. Somebody. I was going to say grandmother, but it seems like maybe a masculine, like a grandfather or an uncle or somebody who is really into gardening. We have the number 32. And they're showing me tulips. They had a lot of tulips, it seems like. And it is tulip season where I'm at. And here's the tulip right there, if you are wondering what I'm talking about. And this is the person that is, you can see here are the dot. So they were going this way and then they went whew, that way. And then we have the little puppy right here that's kind of running. And now we have the heart. So I feel like you have, oh, and the chickens. So I feel like you have family or had family that maybe was like into farming or, like I said, gardening, outdoors a lot, really in the soil, growing things beneath the sky, looking at the trees as they flow back and forth. The sound of the leaves. So nice. This is a person that was hard to get inside. Like they would come in and eat and then they're back out to their projects and their chores and, you know, everything else. And I feel like this is one of the great personalities, archetypes, like a iconic person in your life. And I think you learned so much about being by yourself from them. You learned about like how to keep yourself busy. You don't need to wait for people to offer or, you know, like invite you to something or show you how to do something. No. You're perfectly capable. You can figure it out. And if you don't know how, there's plenty of resources to learn, right? To learn how. And so I think you really took this in growing up around this person. And it has made you so self-sufficient. And really also somebody who enjoys teaching others, mentoring others, passing on the blessing. Okay? And so I do feel such a kindredness. I keep smelling cinnamon rolls, maybe. I was going to say cinnamon, but it's so much like sweeter than that. So I don't know. Maybe they made cinnamon rolls too. Maybe that was their favorite thing. I don't know. But it smells really nice. Okay, so now we're going to do 3 lucky numbers. We have number 20, number 20, number 9, and 89. 89. All right. Now we will go on to our, which one's first? Indigo Sage Affirmation. These cards do not want me to be using them because yesterday during my reading, they jumped out of my hands as well. And I'm blaming the cards. Okay, here we go. This is about how well you can shuffle these here. Okay, here we go. We're going to flip through and stop where it feels right. Ooh, I like that. It's just straight up sky. Okay, alchemical reframe. Transform outcomes with more love and less seriousness. That sounds wonderful. It really does. Now we're also going to do our inner child. Sorry, I was getting this all worked out here. Okay, inner child oracle card. Yeah, I was literally just reading about like the need for absurdity in our own lives. I'm a huge devotee of the absurd, the surreal, the uncanny, the bizarre. I love just the bent reality and the mini realities, and you know, as magicians or practitioners probably must think or perceive to some degree. Yeah, I do. I feel like we're all way too serious sometimes, and then again, not serious enough, right? Like we're just locked into the wrong stuff sometimes, you know? So yeah, a little more, I think, frivolousness. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop where it feels right. Number 35. There is hope ahead. Have courage and take heart, for there is hope. For there is hope. All right, Aries, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. So if you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. I forgot to say at the beginning, if you're still listening, I am taking prayer requests. I don't know why I don't mention that. I know Paul, my husband, does over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. And we definitely work together to make those prayers happen. And, you know, I don't know. I think there's something very beloved about praying together. So I help him with his, and I would like to open up, you know, prayer requests on my channel as well, because I believe prayer absolutely works. How, why, I don't know the particulars, but I believe in my heart of hearts, right? And so if you have any prayer requests, send those over. You can leave them in the comments, or you can email me at ulaishere@gmail.com. It's also located in my description of each video. If you are like me and can never remember what somebody just said, it's there in the description of the video. Okay. All right. I love you, Aries. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk soon. Good night.